Sir, the fate of our backbenchers is that we always get to speak in a depleted house. Anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. The President and the office of the President is greatly respected by all of us. It's a position beyond politics. It's an office which does not need to bother about Facebook likes, retweets, mood of the nation surveys by friendly TV channels, TRP ratings. These are all not things which the office of the President needs to even concern itself about. The office of the President transcends the trappings and concerns of day-to-day politics. When the President speaks, we expect the President to tell us the state of affairs as it is. No sugarcoating, no beating around the bush, no spokesmanship for anyone but the people. It is not meant for an artificial sense boosting. Look at the State of the Union address in America. It is a sacred exercise, a chance to critically reflect and engage where the nation is going. Sir, in India, there is a human story that needs to be told. A human toll which has been taken last year, where all Indians suffered greatly. So in the last week's address of the President, I am more concerned about what was not said than what was said. What was said could be found in any government publication or any party stump speech. It certainly did not require the fanfare of a joint parliamentary session. Unfortunately, this year's presidential address was simply a mundane exercise in rehashing an old slew of standard government talking points. In his long speech, the Honorable President was unable to find the time to discuss issues of grave public concern. There was not one soothing word to our brothers who are protesting against the 3 black laws. They glossed over disturbing developments we have witnessed last year. But the acceptance is the first step to recovery. So I wish to bring to the nation's notice the things the President missed out in his speech. Our response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which the presidential address celebrated, is among the worst in the world. My colleague alluded to the same study by the Lowy Institute of Australia. We are ranked 86th out of 98 countries surveyed. I hope the government will respond to this survey findings. A government which responds to celebrities' tweets must definitely respond to this finding, which says that we are 86th out of 98. No, please, sir, I'm not yielding. Please sit down. I'm not yielding. Please sit down. Please respond to the statistic. You respond to tweets. This government gives the Ministry of External Affairs issues a statement to a tweet by a pop star. But there is a respected institute which ranks India as 86th out of 98, and you don't want to respond. A record economic stimulus was mentioned. Grand numbers were thrown about. The reality is that nothing of the package has reached anybody who's apparently the intended beneficiary. While big numbers are touted, the fact is nobody really knows what the accurate numbers are. It's all gobbledygook. Inequality is rising sharply. We continue to stare at an unemployment crisis. We're also facing a crisis of female labor participation. And it is evident in the current job crisis that women are far more greatly affected by the unemployment crisis caused by demonetization, a faulty GST, and an unprepared lockdown. நீ என்ன சொல்றன்னு எனக்கு புரியல. Our own National Family Health Survey data shows a dangerous hike in stunting and anemia among women and children. We have a chronic malnutrition crisis. The Global Hunger Index, please note this down, the Global Hunger Index puts us at 94 out of 107. புள்ளிவிவரத்தை சொன்னா அறிவு ஜீவின்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க இந்த நாட்டில். Well below our neighbors and much smaller economies. Does the government have any response to this abysmal record? That the government must respond to this, not to tweets of celebrities and teenage activists. Global corruption surveys like that of Transparency International show India's corruption situation is worsening. We have fallen to an all-time low in the World Press Freedom Index. We are 142 out of 180 in 2020. The human rights watchdogs have raised alarms about the state of this country. particularly the brutality with which protesters are attacked and the lockdown was enforced. We have become the world's capital of internet shutdowns. So don't talk about a digital economy when you're shutting down the internet the most than any other country in the world. A true address would have mentioned this. A true presidential address would have mentioned this. It would have done justice to the awesome responsibility that office holds. The failure to recognize the reality of what is happening is a great disappointment. We have to accept the truth and hope this government will accept the truth, address the issues which really matter, and not artificial international conspiracies which you are conjuring up in your imagination. Thank you very much.